Do you make egusi soup on Christmas Day? Then you want to watch this video. I'm going to show you how to make a delicious one. I have goat meat here. Please use any meat that you prefer. Season with some seasoning cube, salt, pepper for heat, some blended onion. Stir this around, cover and let it simmer for about 15 minutes and then I'll come back. While I wait for the meat to simmer, I'll blend up some onion, pepper and some long hot pepper. Blend some crayfish and ugbe as well and set them aside. So about 15 minutes later, I'm going to now give this a good stir. You can now see some juice in there. You want to let it go some more until the juice dries back into the meat. I've also washed some stockfish. I'm going to add it to it now. And some cow tripe that I rinsed really well with hot water. I won't be adding any more seasoning because the stockfish contains salt. I've gone in with some water now. Cover and let it cook completely. Meanwhile, I'm going to now wash the fish. This is dried catfish. I like to scrub this with a clean sponge to get rid of any dirt that may be on the skin, debone it and set it aside. Over here I have the egusi. This is grounded egusi, also known as melon seeds. I've gone in with some onion and water. I'm going to now form this into a paste and set it aside. Meanwhile, I check on the meat after a while and it is completely cooked. I'm going to scoop it out and set it aside. You also want to save this stock because we will need it later. So now in that same pot, I'm going to go in with some of the oil I'm using for the soup and then mold in the egusi balls just like this. We're making lumpy egusi. Now I'm going to fry this egusi for about 15 minutes on all sides until you see it practically form into lumps. Now once this is done, you're going to scoop it out and we'll now continue our cooking. I like to do the egusi like this because I find that the lumps forms better. A non-stick pot will make this process easier. That way you don't have some egusi sticking to the pan, but not to worry, we're making egusi soup. So I'm going to now add palm oil, a little more palm oil into that same pot, going with our blended pepper mix and some of the blended crayfish and ugiri. I'm also going to add some seasoning cubes and our washed catfish. We're going to let this fry until it is dry. Today's hug is for Krishna Ratanam watching from Thailand. I'm glad you love the recipes. Please let me know where you're watching from so I can send you a hug in my next video. So after a while, oil have floated to the top. We're going to now go in with our meat stock that we reserved earlier. Taste and adjust with seasoning if necessary. Mine was fine. Then go in with our already fried egusi, a bit more water to loosen it up, and then the meat. Once I add the meat, I'm going to now add the uziza leaf at this point as well. Like I always do, uziza is more like a herb, so I like to cook it down really well for it to release its natural flavor. I'm going to cover this and let this fry for good 10 to 15 minutes. Then come back, give it a gentle stir, and you guys, the aroma, nose blinding. Taste was also check. It was so delicious, super delicious. So remember I saved some crayfish and ugbe. I'm going to add that lastly, stir it in and then let it simmer for another 2 minutes before I take it off the heat. Also want to prepare your pounded yam or akpu and save it in a cooler so it doesn't get cold. You guys, our soup is ready. Serve and enjoy. I hope you try.